Okay, well, hello everyone. Um, Today's live stream is going to be about custom gravity. This is a video, well, live stream number 15, I believe. And this has been a requested feature quite a bit, so there it is, custom gravity. And so the way I wanted to do that was to first off create a ground material that was gonna make the player stick to it despite the gravity. So let's call it ground underscore magnet. And good. And materials, we're gonna need a color for the magnet. Again, to let the player know that this is a magnet. And what kind of color could it be? Kind of lime green. And so physical material, ground magnet. Good. So okay, let's open up a new level. For testing. Let's get rid of the camera zone and the camera itself. Right there, good. So okay. So as you can see now, well, gravity isn't really strong, so it's really easy to make the loop, but you can't stay up there because the gravity is always pulling you down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this, apply my special material to it. Like so. Okay. Happy New Year, Victor. And so now that we've got the level ready, we're going to need to modify the float pawn. So the first thing we should do is go into the physics tab and disable gravity. Alright, because we're going to handle gravity ourselves. So where's the event tick? Well, event tick doesn't seem to be anywhere, so we're going to create one. And if we just set the force to minus 980, just to see if, yep, we need to take the acceleration change, I believe. That's it. We have gravity back, going down always. I think it's a little weak, but let me just, is it project setting? Yeah, default gravity Z minus 2000. Okay, that's why. Okay, so we got back the gravity we had, but now we can modify its direction really easily right there. So we're gonna need to make that a variable for gravity direction, I guess. And we could multiply it by float. Which is, for example, going to be 2000. If we make the gravity minus 1 under Z, yep, and then promote to variable as well, and gravity strength. Good. We now should have everything. Gravity strength 2000, gravity direction directly minus Z, okay. And that should give us the same result. Excellent. Yes. Okay. Now we're gonna have to use the event hit again. So the same way we detect if the ball is rolling onto a slowdown material, like so, we're gonna just copy and paste that for the gravity. So hit result, get the physical material, transpose, well, collapse all that into a node. And we're gonna call it is onto magnet material. Like so. should be physical material ground slowdown. We're gonna wanna check for ground magnet instead. So if it's false, we reset the gate, set movement velocity. Okay. What we're gonna do instead is setting gravity direction back to z minus 1. So if we're not onto this custom magnet ground, we're setting the gravity back to original, and if we are, then it's getting a little more complex. So we're gonna need also the last hit location, that's for sure. Yeah, which we set as variable. So last hit location, get world location of mesh, which is our ball mesh. Basically what I want to do is get a direction vector from the center of the ball to where it touches the magnet material and apply gravity in that direction vector. So look at rotation, start, target, that'll give us a rotation, and we can get forward vector, I guess, and set gravity direction to that vector. Okay, I guess that should do it. I'm just gonna make sure that it works. Nope. Okay, so we're gonna make sure first of all that it returns true when we roll into the magnet material, and it doesn't, so that could explain it. Uncontaminant hit. Okay, this doesn't return true anymore either. It was working though, so I don't know what happened. How about we re-enable gravity, just to make sure that gravity is not mandatory to get the hit event. That doesn't seem to be fixing the problem. Okay. Wait, do I have a game name? Yeah. Good. Whew. Okay, that's cool. Okay, now that does not work anymore either. So this whole section here is broken. Okay, the hit is getting fired up. That's good. Now is it still getting fired up? Nope, it doesn't. Okay. So there's something in between here that stopped the execution path. We're gonna have to figure out exactly where before we can fix it. Okay. So it works here, but not here. So, oh, input object is not valid. Okay. Just return false automatically, I guess. Good, okay. So yeah, the problem with is valid is that if it's not valid, you need to do something. Otherwise, you're just gonna stop the execution path there. So if the other actor is a BSP, I guess it's not a valid actor. Okay. So now we have a hello here as well, which should never return true. Okay. Now that we fixed that, we should return a true. So we should print hello here whenever we stand onto the greenish magnet material. And we don't. Ground magnet. We're just gonna materials slow down. Okay, so the code itself works because the slowdown material code here isn't broken. So this works. Now does the execution path get all the way here? It does. Good. So I guess our problem is that it never returned true. So what is different? This is an object reference. This is an object reference as well. Okay, then let's get back to my material. Make sure we've put the right physical material. We did. So why is it not working? Okay, before the condition, it works. So I know it's a problem with the branch part here. I just don't know exactly what. I guess we're just gonna print the display name just for test purposes. So ground slowdown here. Here it doesn't return anything. I don't know if you can see here that the gravity it kind of worked, but not as expected. Hi, Martin. Okay, So the problem I'm having right now it's a fairly big one. It doesn't seem to be detecting the ground. Like you can see on the top left, the print string isn't there. Oops. The print string is there. And if I put anything else than the green material, it'll work. Or not. Wait. See here how it works as soon as ground slowdown. It just tells me I'm onto ground slowdown, and as soon as I'm onto another material, it doesn't do anything. Well, it does switch, but only once. Oh. So yeah, it only works on the first hit instead of working constantly like it does for a slowdown material, which is not normal. But okay, how about I do a sequence instead of oh. Okay. Well, surprise. Doing a sequence instead of executing them back to back fixes the problem. So I don't know what the problem was in the first place, but now I know what to do if that happens again. Nice. So as long as I'm touching a magnet material, it'll, change the gravity to ensure that I'm sticking to that material. And as soon as I touch something else, it'll just put it back down, which is kind of neat. So let's put that back to concrete. And so I would say, see, I just touched the side by accident, which is a wall, default physical material, and so it put the gravity back to normal. So using that, or as soon as I don't touch any material at all, boop, I just fall back. So why is it even allowing me to jump actually? As soon as I don't touch it, I should, as soon as I jump, I should fall back down, but yeah, it's the kind of bug I'm happy with. Okay, so we can now use that in our level design. So for example, if you make a canyon, something like that. And yeah, let's say is that gonna be long enough? I guess so. Okay, so for example, if you decide to put the magnet material underneath, no, it's not really visible because it's underneath. Whoa. And because, yeah, okay, now I need to fix that. So when there isn't any collisions, it should set the gravity direction back automatically. but it doesn't seem to be doing that, so I guess it'll need a little help. Oh, I get it. I get it. Okay. So if I don't hit anything, this doesn't get updated. So I guess I should have a timeout, like a some kind of retriggerable delay. Okay, so let's say I put duration to 0.2 seconds, and then what I do is I send it back here. I'll check that out. Voila, okay. So as soon as it sets the gravity to be something else than default going down, then if there is no input for 0.2 second, it just goes back to normal. So that'll avoid flying. While still allowing us to use the magnet as long as we touch them. Like so. And that should prevent the player from jumping. How can I say that? I'm going to show you instead what I mean by that. So see that green? If I go ahead and jump onto it, yeah, it's a little too high. Yeah, I'll make it bigger. Okay, cool. So as long as I touch the magnet, wait. Okay, cool. So as long as I touch the magnet, gravity is set to the hit location, and as soon as I don't touch it, 0.2 seconds later it goes back to normal. And so just like that. Now, okay, the direction movements are getting pretty hard to control when doing that. Because I'm sticking to a wall, but how could I fix that? See, it just wobbles from side to side. Nah, it's probably because of calculate right vector. Yeah, because I'm only using the yaw. Now if I use all of them, it still does the same, because right vector is for moving forward. Yeah, that's the one I wanted. Ah, that's it. Okay. So now I can move the camera into the direction I need to have the right controls. As soon as it falls back. Okay, that's cool. So we're not using the angle of the camera completely. Whoop, I bounced off of it. And you could make that delay longer than 1/10 of a second for stronger magnet. So for example, if I set it here at 1, it'll attract me for a longer amount of time after leaving it, basically. Yeah, I kinda liked 0.2. Okay, so there it is. That was custom gravity materials, which you can use to create bridges and stuff to force the player to roll into the ceiling, etc. Whoa, wrong direction. Good. So I can use that to, you know, force the player to roll into the ceiling and stuff like that. So I think the magnets are going to be a pretty big deal in later uh, levels, now that I've implemented them. Or for example, we could rotate that to the side like this and force the player to roll on the wall. Oops. Now, of course, you tend to bounce off, so I should go into surface type, ground magnet, and put the restitution to 0, so there isn't any bounces at all from these material. Voila. Now it is much easier to stick to the walls, and boom, gravity goes back to normal. Sure, Jordan, and a happy new year to you as well. So briefly, what I just did was create a new physical material for the green stuff. The same way I did for the slowdown material, see, ground magnet. And I just made it non-bouncy at all for better results. And you know, just like I did for the slowdown material, like checking what physical material we're onto and doing something according to that. Well, I just did the same for the ground material. And now what it does instead is setting a gravity direction vector, which we use because we deactivate the gravity on the ball, and we're handling the gravity ourselves onto the event tick. So that's basically how we did that. And so now, because of that, as soon as we touch the magnet material, we stick to it. And as soon as we don't touch it anymore, there's a delay of 0.2 seconds. And then gravity goes back to z-1, you know, the standard gravity. Now I could lower, since we don't have any bounce anymore, we don't quite need that delay anymore. So I'll just make it really, really small. Just like that. Maybe that was too small. Good. I have a dash remaining. Okay. And now, of course, now that we can roll into the walls and everything, we'll need a new camera system, like a new movement system according to the camera, that not only take into account the camera, but also where we actually collide. So for example, if we have that camera here, and we're on the ground, then when the player wants to go left and press A, we, you know, rotate the ball to the left. But we'll need to detect where the ball is touching an object. So for example, if it touches the ceiling and the player want to go left, then the ball needs to spin the other way around to go left, you know. And so we're gonna need to figure out all that to make the control easier for the player, so that they don't have to worry about camera angles and everything when they control the ball. See, for example, here, when I want to go left and right, it actually, how can I say that? It spins as if I was on the ground, and so it's not spinning in the good direction. So yeah, I'm gonna need to work a solution for that. But as long as we're staying on the ground, the movement system is working pretty solid, I would say. Oops. So yeah, you can now use the magnets to complicate your levels furthermore. And now that this is all working properly, we should remove the print string that we've put there for debugging. Ask you, how would you make if the ball is not touching nothing at all? That's really easy. When the ball doesn't touch anything, the hit event isn't fired anymore. And so that's the reason we've put that retriggerable delay there. Because, you know, if the ball suddenly stopped touching anything, then, you know, the gravity won't be reset at all. So, for example, if you're sticking to the wall and all of a sudden you stop touching the wall, you're still gonna go in the direction of the wall instead of going down. And so we've put that delay there. So yeah. And if we touch any other material than the magnet material, this is gonna return false, and this is gonna set the direction for the gravity back to normal. Or if we don't touch this material for 0.1 second, it'll set it back to normal as well. So yeah. And Jordan, your question, was it actually how would you modify the gravity without touching anything? Is that what you meant? Or because if you guys want to, I can make gravity volumes next. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Well, for example, here we're touching the gravity vector, but any other classes like volumes can also access that variable and change it. So what we could do is either have a volume do that, or we could do it on the player. So in either way, we're gonna need to put a branch here with a Boolean variable. Well, actually, yeah, we're gonna need to put it before the check here so that we don't modify the gravity as long as we are in a volume. So you should have another Boolean variable like is in gravity volume, and if it's true, we don't execute the ground check, and the volume that we're overlapping with is gonna take care of setting the gravity. I guess we could do that next. After I figure out a way to fix the camera. So I guess what I should be doing for the direction vector is to rotate, because right now we're assuming, not calculating, wait. Right now we're assuming that the ball is always on top of the ground. So if the player press S, we spin the ball like that to make it move to the left. But if the ball is onto the ceiling and the player press S because you want to go this way, then if the ball is spin like that, it actually moves like that. And so we need to detect where the ground is compared to the ball to modify the movement vector so that the player doesn't have to worry about it. And I'm gonna have to think about that for a few minutes. But yeah, other than gravity stuff, is there anything you guys would like to see in these tutorials? I never thought I'd manage to make a simple ball game so complex. I thought this tutorial series would stay kind of basic, and here I am doing some maths for rolling direction on a ball. Oh geez, okay. I guess I should add an offset to that rotation here. Rotate vector. And I'll need to look at rotation. Oops. Here. I guess something like that. Rotate the vector. I hope that's gonna work. Because it's the only idea I've got right now. Nope, that ain't good. should I rotate that vector instead? Yeah, I should rotate that vector on the z-axis. Nope. You know, it's probably gonna be one of these two. It's gonna have to be a rotate vector. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that off camera a little bit before I come back to you. But So yeah, for now, that was it for the custom gravity. And it's the new year, so I won't take up all of your time with this live stream taking too long. So that's gonna be it for now. Unless you have any other questions. Well, anyway, if you have any questions, you can always ask them in the comments. So, all right, gonna end the stream now. So you guys have a good new year. And, yep, we'll see you next time.